Welcome back to the session on SPSS. So we have already seen how to enter the data and create variables. So first we create variables and then we enter the data. Now before we go to the next session, we will try to brush up our understanding of these scales and how a questionnaire is developed, and we will see a questionnaire for example and see how the data can be captured for this questionnaire in the data editor. So there is a questionnaire which is a study on the soft drinks. You can see the first question is on gender, male, female. The second is on age. So this is a nominal scale, whereas age is given as a ratio scale. Marital status, you have again a nominal scale. Number of members in your family, ratio scale. Number of friends you have, ratio scale. Education, nominal scale. And there are also more things that have been asked here. So you can go to the second one here. Let me enlarge it for you to see. Here they have asked to rate your level of agreement with a few statements which are regarding to soft drink. Let me read out a couple of them for your understanding. People are conscious about the quality of products. And what is the scale they have given you? They've given a scale which ranks from 1 to 6. Completely disagree to completely agree. And a 6-point scale they have used, where they have also put partially disagree, partially agree. Now there are a couple of other statements. So what kind of a scale is this? This is an interval scale. So up to 20 question is an interval scale. Here you can see that they've asked to rank these brands based on the flavors. So if they are using ranking scale, it should be an ordinal scale. Level of satisfaction. Here again, we can see that highly dissatisfied to very highly satisfied. That means this is a interval scale. And here choose any one. So this should be a nominal scale. So here again an interval scale. Now our task is, we have given this questionnaire to a couple of people and now we want to enter that data into the SPSS data editor. Now let me go to the SPSS data editor. This is the finalized version of the question captured in the data editor. But now let me try to take a new one and just to brush up your understanding. Data. So I create variables here. This is what you saw last time. Gender and the type and all these information you give, and then you go to the data view. Here you will enter 1, which means it's the male. So like that we will be entering the data. Now let me go back to the one that I've already done, since you have already seen how to do the data entry. So these are all the variable names which were created. And if I go to the data view, I can get the entry of the data. So this is how it is. Now let me think of a scenario where I got all these age, and since my age was captured as a ratio scale, I want to now have a different version of the age. I want to group them into different categories and later maybe do an analysis. Now how can I do it? Because here I've already captured the age as a ratio scale. It's only the actual age which is given here. In that case, what I will do is, I will go to transform and I go to recode into different variables. I choose age, which has to be recoded, and I enter it here. Now my new variable has to be named. Let me call this as new age, and I call this as, say, recoded age, and I say change, and then I take the old values and the new values. Now what are these old values? Either one-to-one value I can give and change, but in this case the range will be the most appropriate one. Let me say from age 0 to 25, the value is 1. That is my first classification, add. And age 26 to say 35 is another category. So I call this as category 2 and I add it. And now I have my third category, say from 36 to say 100. I don't have anybody more than 100 here. And I call this as my group 3 and I add this. Now I continue it and I say, okay, what happens? There's some execution which is happening, but apart from that, if you notice, you will see that in my variable view, let me go to the last row here. Here I had earlier only 37 variables. Now I have a new variable, and that new variable, if you see, is the new age. And here if you have seen, it's again a nominal scale, and here see the grouping which is already done. This 2 means that that person should be in the age group of 26 to 35. And here 1 means that person should be belonging to the age group. So I've actually successfully recoded that one which was in ratio scale to a nominal scale 3 grouping. So that is possible to do in this case. This is done by using recode. Now what does this recode into? Remember we use recode into different variables. The same thing we can do recode into same variables. But what is the only difficulty here? Here it means that instead of creating a new age as a new variable, it would have replaced the already existing age. So I would have lost this data. And there would be a new new variable created in the place of age as new age, and this data would vanish, and in this place I will get replacement as 222. So my original data is lost. So in order to preserve the old data, it is better that I go and use the option recode it to different variable instead of using the recode into same variable option. That's all. So this is how we do this. I hope you would have understood how the recode variables options have to be used while analyzing data. Now, one more thing we can learn today is how to use the basic analyzing tool to count the frequency. Let me go to descriptive statistics, and in the descriptive statistics there is an option called as frequencies. When you go to the frequency, if I choose these 3, say I use the shift option and then I select all these 3, or I can even select the 4, number of friends on education also, and I click them inside, and statistics. I am not going to ask anything. I am only going to go for the frequencies. So you can see how the frequencies are getting calculated. There are 100 responses. There is no missing value. And in the gender, if you see, there are 50-50. 50 men, 50 female. Even the percentage is calculated and given to you here. In the age, you will find different categories here. Remember, that is the reason why we actually went and recoded, because this is how your data is looking. Different age group, different frequencies are there. It is of no use to me. So recoding that and getting into 3 groups is ideal for me to work. And married, unmarried and separated, this is the statistics. Family size, again you can see that family size, you have different options here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can do one thing, I can categorize this into 2 groups. Say people who are having 3 and less than 3, and people who are having more than 3, because you can see the frequency and decide what will be the ideal grouping size that you can do. Similarly, number of friends, This is the basic data that we have entered. Later on, we can group them. Maybe I can use people who are having up to 4 friends and people who are having more than 4 friends. That can be another. This is plus to their education qualification. So this is how the frequency is calculated. So that I think would have been very, very simple for you to understand. So just to recap what we have done in this video, we have tried to understand how to use the recode into different variable option and also recode into same variable option. We've also seen how to use analyze to calculate the frequencies. In the transform, in the recode into same variables, you can another thing that I would like to tell you is when you have used this, suppose I'm recoding the age or say the family size. This is, let's take this one, not this one. So in the family size, let me take the old values. Instead of using the range, I can also give 1 to 1. So I have to cancel this and I have to old values, new values. I can give 1 to 1 values. For example, if the value is 1, then the new value is also 1. Add. If the value is 2, new value is 1, because that's the same group. I want to group them. Value is 3, then the new value will be 1. This way what happens is the number of family size, 1 person is the first group, 2 people are in a family size, that's also in the first group, 3 people are in the family, that's also first group. And we remember we said that in the second group 4 and above. So 4 means now it will be in the second group, and 5 means it will be in the second group, and so this way I am using 1 to 1 values to group them into 2 different groups. Earlier, whoever were having only 1 family member, 2 family members, 3 family members are now in one group. Whoever is having 4 family members, 5 family members, 6 family members will now come into the second group. So that is what I can do. 1 to 1 value also I can give. Hope you have learned how to transform and how to calculate the frequency. Thank you.